Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Raksha Mam. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Raksha Mam. Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava, Pahi Mam. Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava, Pahi Mam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rachamam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rachamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava Pahina. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava Rakshamam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitha, Jaya Gauranitha, Gauranitha, Jaya Gauranitha. Jaya Radha, Ras Bihari Radha, Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram, Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman, Sita Ram, Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam. Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Vrindavan Dham. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev,
Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Pariprakaacharya Stotrastu Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Pariprakaacharya Stotrastu Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. Okay, you can read. Want to read? Okay.
July 15, 1975. Srila Prabhupada had a direct flight from Philadelphia to San Francisco. He and Upendra sat in the first class section, while Brahmananda Swami were Rishikesh and Pradina traveled economic class. Vishwaka Devi Dasi had also come to photograph Srila Prabhupada. After the plane had reached cruising at altitude, a uniformed gentleman emerged from the cabin. Immediately, he caught sight of Srila Prabhupada sitting by the window and walked over. When he leaned over and asked Prabhupada how he was, Prabhupada saw that the man wanted to talk. So he asked Upendra to get up and give the gentleman his seat. "You are the captain," Prabhupada summarized. "No," the man replied. "I am a flight supervisor, come to overlook the pilot and the crew. Would it be all right if I asked you a philosophical question?" Prabhupada nodded, apparently pleased. Is everything created by God?" Srila Prabhupada said yes, and quoted the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadi Asaya Yathaha. Everything is in existence, Prabhupada said, has its origin in God. "Then what is evil?" the flight supervisor asked. "Is evil also God's creation? For God, there is not good or evil." Prabhupada explained, "Everything is good. Goodness is God's forte, and evil is God's back portion." Taking this example, the chest of the back of the body are equal. It is not that when there is some pain in the backside, I don't care for it. I simply take care of it when there is pain in the chest. No, although it is the backside, it is as important as the front side. So evil and good are also of the same importance. No, for God there is nothing. Evil, just like for the sun there is no darkness, but for us there is light. Sun, you will find darkness. No darkness. Because if instead of remaining then there is darkness. Otherwise, there is no such darkness. Therefore, God is all good. But for us, when we forget God, that is evil. And when we are in God consciousness always, then everything is good. Is that all right? The man seemed to understand and respectfully accepted the answer. He was about to ask another question when a well-dressed but somewhat drunken passenger came up to them and spoke. Are you afraid of death? The intoxicated man sobered and talking as a rare opportunity. Peaceful, he asked. Srila Prabhupada began quoting Bhagavad Gita. Gupta Ram Yajna Tapasam and signaling Vishakha asked for a copy of the Gita. The devotees quickly consulted, but no one had a Bhagavad Gita. When Prabhupada heard this, he became angry. Although containing his feelings in the presence of his guest, he then explained to the man that one had to have knowledge of God as the supreme controller, the supreme enjoyer, and the best friend of everyone. Only then could one have peace. Out of foolishness, Prabhupada said, we are claiming the land is our property. Therefore, there is no peace. But actually, God is the proprietor. Both Srila Prabhupada and the flight supervisor enjoyed their talk, and as the flight supervisor excused himself, he heartily shook Prabhupada's hand. Prabhupada called for Pradyumna, his eyes glowing in transcendental anger. He reprimanded Upendra and Pradyumna for not having a copy of Bhagavad Gita. They should have one of them all the time, at all times. Pradyumna offered that although he didn't have Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is, he just happened to be carrying an edition by another author. This infuriated Prabhupada even more. He then ordered Upendra never to travel again without carrying 3 books, Bhagavad Gita as it is, and the first volume of Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay. Next.
July 15, 1975. Within less than 2 weeks, Prabhupada had traveled from West Coast to East Coast and back. This was his first visit to ISKCON birthplace. Birthplace recently acquired headquarters, a large church complex, and as usual, hundreds of devotees from many Western centers had converged to meet him. His arrival address specifically dealt with the position of the Guru, only unto one with unflinching faith in Krishna and Guru. He explained is the essence of Vedic wisdom revealed. Outsiders may think that the Guru is very proper, said Prabhupada, and he is sitting and taking respect from the disciples. But the fact is that they are to be taught like that, how to offer respect to the spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada repeatedly encountered this misunderstanding. A year ago in Paris, he had been heckled by radical students who envied his sitting on an elevated seat. And in America, the reporters often portrayed him as enjoying material comforts provided by his disciples. But Prabhupada maintained that despite a plethora of challenges, bringing this repute to the word Guru, anyone sincerely desiring to learn transcendental science had to go to bona fide Guru, the representative of God. The Guru's business, said Sri Prabhupada, is to protect the subordinate disciples from falling. Just like I am traveling all over the world, twice in a year. My duty is to see that my disciples who have accepted me as Guru may not fall down. That is my anxiety. Now, how can one become Guru and representative of Krishna? Everyone will say, I am representative of Krishna, I am Guru. No, the real thing is enunciated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who says, Amara Agya Guru Sana Tara Eide. You just became Guru on my order. So Guru means he who is carrying out the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not self-made Guru. Srila Prabhupada said that sometimes people gave him much credit for having done a wonderful thing for the whole world. But he confessed, I do not know that I am a wonderful man. But I know one thing, that I am speaking what Krishna has spoken. That's all. I am not making any addition or alteration. I am presenting Bhagavad Gita as it is. This credit I can take.
Okay, next.
Prabhupada continues to stress that the Guru must repeat the message of Krishna. If a so-called Guru wanted to be a cheater, that was a different thing. There would always be cheaters and people who wanted to be cheated. Usually such Gurus cheated by accepting disciples without ordering them to stop sinful acts. If I say that you can do a nonsense, Prabhupada said, simply take this mantra and give even $25, they will like. I would have collected millions of dollars if I would have treated like that. But I do not want that. I want one student who follows my instructions. I don't want millions. Ekas Chandras Tamo Nachatra. If there is one moon in the sky that is sufficient for illumination, there is no need for millions of stars. My position is that I want to see that at least one disciple has become a pure devotee. Of course, I have got many sincere and pure devotees. That is my good luck. But I would have been satisfied if I could find out only one. There is no need of millions of stars. Due to zoning restrictions, the devotees were not allowed to use the Bhakti temple as a residence. But since no suitable rooms were immediately available in the neighborhood, the devotees decided to accommodate Srila Prabhupada and his personal staff in the temple for the few days of his visit, hoping the authorities wouldn't find out. But on the first night, at 2 a.m., the police came by to check. Srila Prabhupada was already up, working at his Bhagavatam translation. When the police knocked loudly on the outside door near his room, young Mike was to receive initiation in a few days, had been posted as a guard. He opened the door and 3 flashlights shone into his face. The officers entered the room, entered and showed their credentials. "You are not supposed to be sleeping here," one of them said roughly. "I wasn't," said Mike. "Come on, we saw you in your sleeping bag." "No," Mike protested. "I was just lying there because I'm guarding my spiritual master." Srila Prabhupada could easily hear the disturbance just outside his room. The devotees who were spending the night in the building with Prabhupada came out of their rooms and tried reasoning with the officers about the special occasion of the spiritual master's visit. One of the policemen began roaming around, sitting in corners. Now all the devotees in the building, about half a dozen, were standing with the policemen in the hall outside Prabhupada. "Where's the old man?" one of the policemen asked. Aulaswa, the temple president, requested them not to the Prabhupada. They were in fact over nasty. Don't disturb. Aulaswa. These are the hours in which he writes. All these men are his personal interests. They are staying here to help him. They are not violating the rules. Suddenly, one of the policemen opened Prabhupada's door and shone his light on Prabhupada's face. All 3 policemen peered in. When Srila Prabhupada looked up and said, concerned yet detached, the policeman shone his flashlight into the corners of Prabhupada's simple, dimly lit room. No one said anything, and after about 10 seconds, they shut the door. The police officers and the devotees continued that way, and the devotees contending that they were not using the building as a residence. The police citing infractions and taking documents. Warning that they would be back, they finally left. The incident had constituted about half an hour interruption of Prabhupada's work. But as the building became quiet again, Prabhupada continued translating the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam and speaking his purpose into the dictating machine. Prabhupada agreed to hold a press conference. He welcomed regular opportunities to address the press because even though their stories were often negative or dealt on controversy, whatever truth the paper printed generally outweighed the genuine news. The holy name of Krishna always appeared, and usually there would be mention of Prabhupada's preaching or of Bhagavad Gita. Personal details about Prabhupada were generally not offensive. He no longer expected the press to print much about the Krishna consciousness philosophy, although occasionally some philosophy appeared. He would often request reporters to please report accurately and not misrepresent or skip over what he had said.
Next.
The reporters, however, seem to have a fascination for the trivial. In 1968, a reporter in Montreal had dwelt on Prabhupada's casual shoes. Hush-puppied high priest. Nevertheless, for Prabhupada, press interviews and press conferences were a way of preaching. The press conference was held in the temple and was attended by about a dozen reporters and photographers. Brahmananda Swami had the reporters write their question on the piece of paper so that one of the devotees could lead them to Prabhupada. Prabhupada asked the photographers not to take pictures during the conferences, since it would divert people's attention. Devotee, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, would you comment on opposition to the Hare Krishna movement in this country, Prabhupada? Why should they oppose? What is the reason? If they are Christians or Jewish religious men, so we are advocating to chant the holy name of God. So why should there be opposition? Is there any reason for such objection? What is the objection? Devotee, some of the objections are that the followers of the Hare Krishna sect are on the streets or in the airport bothering people. Prabhupada, the airport itself is a botheration. So much sound, so much accident. So why this little botheration they cannot tolerate? That means intolerance. It is full of botheration, and because we are chanting, we are very much disturbed. We don't chant in the airport, but we ask people that here is a very good book. You will benefit. If you like, you can take. So what is wrong in there? Tell me, what is the wrong? If I give you something very nice, is that wrong? You read any book, we have got 50 books, and you find out any fault in that. If we are distributing some bad literature which is against the social welfare, then you can object. But you see, bring all our books here and you will see. Any page you open, you will find something good. Why are you denying to distribute such literature for the benefit of people in general? What is the wrong there? Devotee. One of the things that people say is that the devotees are asking for donation, not just distributing books, but asking for money. That's a bother. Prabhupada. But he pays. If he feels botheration, why does he pay? One who feels botheration does not pay, but one who thinks that there is a nice book, then he says, all right, let me take it. Why you take this botheration? If it is botheration, how they are purchasing, they are paying their money, hard-earned money. Do you think they are bothered and at the same time they pay?
Next.
Prabhupada, since we do not make the report is now they begin to show him the MP. Reporter, what will happen to the movement in the magistrates? Will you die? Prabhupada, I will never die. You want to? Prabhupada, as I read from my books and you replies. Reporter, why does the Hare Krishna movement not engage in social protest? Prabhupada, we are the best social workers. People are fools and aspirants, and we are teaching them nice idea of God consciousness. We are the best social workers. We stop on time. What is your social work? Reducing victims and criminals? That is not social work. Social work means the population must be very peaceful, wise, intelligent, and God conscious. First class men. That is social work. If you produce some fourth class, fifth class, 10th class of men, what is social work? We are not producing that. Just see, here is the first class men. They do not have any bad habits, illicit sex, intoxication, drinking, and gambling. They all are young men. They are not addicted to all these things. This is social work. When a reporter asked of financial movement, Prabhupada said, if this God consciousness is great, then everyone will be brilliantly qualified. Becoming a discussion from him, morning walk on the campus of the University of California, Berkeley, he added, the students are studying psychology, but the result is that they are falling down from the tower in disappointment, and they have taken the class. Bahulasva explained what Prabhupada meant. In the main tower of the Berkeley campus, students in the 60s would jump from the tower to kill themselves. So they put glass there to stop the students from jumping. So Prabhupada was explaining that this is the education. That after getting the education, they have to commit suicide. Remember, Srila Prabhupada, one serious friend wanted to know what is this Ratna festival? Why is it going on over here in the Western world? God is the proprietor of everything. He is also the proprietor of the Western world. Is there any dispute? If you say God is the proprietor of the Western world, what is wrong there? So, if the Western world has forgotten God and He comes to remind them, what is the wrong? But what is the purpose of the large cars and other things you use? So, large car means God is very great. He requires very great car. The devotees laugh. Why should we go in a small car? Prabhupada continued speaking until all questions were answered. Now, whatever the reporters would write was up to them, but Prabhupada had used the occasion for clarifying Krishna and explaining his movement. That Krishna explaining his whether praise conference published in private communication or translating his purpose was the same.
Okay, next.
Prabhupada pronounced that nuclear war was inevitable. Devotees had brought up the topic of proliferation of atomic weapons. Russia has so many weapons, China has so many weapons, the United States has so much. But everyone now is here also. They are all afraid of Prabhupada. They must use it. That is nature's arrangement. That the world died. That is nature's arrangement. Tamala Krishna also Goswami some power to try, just like there was that demon. Lord Shiva gave him power so that everyone's head be touched would fall. Prabhupada, yes, just like in your country, there are so many cars so that a poor man like me has car always, not an inch move on leg. But because there are so many cars, naturally they must be used. Similarly, there are so many weapons now that must be used. That is the natural sequence. They must use it. That is why they have wars, just to use other weapons from one. Yes. That for one person to use a atomic weapon, that means the entire is afraid of using it. But anyway, there is no astrology, it is a natural condition that will be total destruction of what total or partial that we shall see, but they must be used. Another threat of when Krishna consciousness means easy to spread Prabhupada. That is already there. But they are such fools that is already there. When we die, but who is caring for us? They are avoiding us. They cannot take any anchorages. Or to bring them to their senses of it. What is already going on. But they are so sensitive that they will not come. They are so rascal, therefore they are described as Mula or rascals. It is very hard to teach to these schools, Prabhupada. No, chant Hare Krishna, that will be sufficient.
Okay, next.
Prabhupada had gladly been so.
Srila Prabhupada, I rarely been so convincing about earlier in the year on in Mayapur, we had discussed how there would be a World War III, and that talk had become a sensation throughout his book. But before, he had always offered the alternative if the people of the world could take to Krishna consciousness, then the cumulative karma would be reversed. But now he said it was inevitable. While in Berkeley, Srila Prabhupada received a visit from Yogi Bachani, founder of the HHH Foundation, Swami Chandananda, president of the Divine Life Society, and Jain leader Swami Sushil, president of the World Fellowship of Religion. Swami Sushil wore a white turban and across his mouth a white mask in the tradition of the non-violent Jains who tried to avoid killing even airborne microbes. Yogi Bhajan, dressed in typical Sikh fashion of white turban and white loose-fitting garments, was accompanied by a few of his Western disciples similarly attired. Visits from various Swamis and Yogis were not uncommon for Srila Prabhupada. Even when he did not agree with a particular philosophy, he was always the cordial host, pleasantly receiving guests in his simple cottage in Hawaii. Yogi Bhajan had also visited Srila Prabhupada to invite him to his Unity of Man conference, which many sadhus were already scheduled to attend. Srila Prabhupada had spoken sternly, pointing out that simply gathering people at a meeting was not unity. Real unity could be achieved only if the particular participants of the meeting agreed to accept the authorized signs of God in the revealed scriptures. Now they had come to invite him to a second Unity of Man conference. Swami Sushil and Swami Chindananda were particularly enthusiastic in praising Srila Prabhupada and his ISKCON. Your moment is something different, said Swami Chandananda. It's all over the world, and you have so many thousands of people all over the world. We can't describe it. It's so amazing, and in this age, how wonderfully it has been done. Without God's mercy, nothing would have been done. That 6 lakhs of magazines have come out and been distributed in 1 month. It's amazing. Swami Sushil added, you have established the same principles without any change here in a modern way. In Bengal, without your asrama, we couldn't have done anything. Then we know there is an asrama of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We don't need to worry about anything. Where to stay? What strikes me is that you don't compromise anywhere. They mention the horrible sin of cow slaughter, and Srila Prabhupada told how his moment was protecting cows in Vrindavan. Then Swami Sushil asked how Prabhupada interested the young people in God. Prabhupada gave the example that the most popular sweet shop in Delhi was the one where everything was made with a pure ghee. If the thing is good, Prabhupada said, then there won't be a shortage of customers. He further pointed out that his teachings were based properly on Bhagavad Gita, surrender to Krishna.
Okay, next.
When Swami Sushil asked how Prabhupada got his followers to take shelter of Krishna, Prabhupada replied, it's God who did it. God says, Mama ekam sharanam raja. So that is our duty, just to take shelter of him. Lord Chaitanya says, Yare dekha tare katha Krishna upadesha. That is whoever you meet, just preach the teachings of Krishna as in the Bhagavad Gita. I don't have any upadesha instructions, it's just Krishna's upadesha. We are all foolish. We can't have any upadesha. So what are the teachings of Krishna? We just keep on saying them. Krishna says, do like that, and that's what we do. So this is a secret. I do this, and that's what I teach to all these people. I'm totally against manufactured religion. Eva Sushi's question on how people could be brought to quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam that lists many races of the world and explains that all of them can be purified by taking the shelter of Krishna's pure devotee. Prabhupada's guests again invited him to their conference, and Swami Sushi added, "We were very glad to meet you today. We would like to call you sometime in our meeting of Yoga Dharma." "We'll come," said Prabhupada. "What about your fellowship?" "It's called World Fellowship of Religion," said Swami Chidananda. "Yogi Ji has made this Unity of Man conference, but we invited him," said Yogi, referring to the previous invitation. Swami Chidananda, "But now you are having the second one." Yogi Bhajan, "Yes, the second meeting is in Mexico. We will call him then as well." Srila Prabhupada smiled and said, "I told you before, there is not going to be any unity." This candid remark made them laugh. "You say," said Swami Chidananda, remembering Prabhupada's analysis, "that until everyone is God-minded, until then, when God will desire," said Yogi Bhajan, "then everyone will become God-minded. What's the great deal about it?" "God himself says," said Srila Prabhupada, "Dukhalayam ashwasvatam." There is suffering. You cannot stay in this world. You have to leave. The main problem is birth, old age, disease, and death. So we are not anxious to adjust these things here, but these are the real problems. "What can we do about birth, old age, disease, and death?" asked Swami Chidananda. Srila Prabhupada continued preaching Bhagavad Gita. Without overtly disagreeing, Prabhupada's guests inquired and listened with respect, considering him a great spiritual leader, potent in spreading Hindu dharma. "He is great," said Yogi Bhajan. "That's what I want to learn, how we can do that." The conversation turned and Prabhupada mentioned that Yogi Bhajan was from the Sikh community, which is famous for its brave fighters. "When the British people were defeated," says Srila Prabhupada, "it was by the Sikh people. I have seen it. It is due to the Sikhs only. The Sikhs are Kshatriyas. Some of them are Brahmanas, Brahmana Kshatriyas." Swami Sushi, "Yes. I said to some of my students that you go to Prabhupada Ji and he'll make you Brahmana Kshatriyas." Prabhupada, "Yes, let us cooperate like that. You take the work of Kshatriyas and we take the work of Brahmanas. For Brahmanas, we need brain, and for Kshatriyas, we need strength." As he spoke about non-violence, Srila Prabhupada argued that if one does not become God consciousness, then he will undoubtedly be committing himsa or violence. Yogi Bhajan, "Yes, when they come to their senses, then they remember God." Prabhupada laughing, "Here in the West, there is only himsa, nothing else." Prabhupada's guests laughed at him. Afterwards, they took some photographs and Srila Prabhupada invited them along with some of his disciples to sit and take Krishna Prasadam together. Srila Prabhupada requested his guests to attend the San Francisco Ratha Yatra to be held the next day and there.
Okay. Stop here.
Yeah,
Huh?
small
One
part is
paragraph
left
left
for
for
the
the
chapter
chapter.
12. You can read. She didn't read.
Oh, it's only one. Acha, this portion.
Yes.
Okay.
July 20th, 1975. This was not only the largest ISKCON Rath Yatra ever, but also the largest gathering of devotees to date. Larger even than the international gatherings at Mayapur earlier that year. Preparations at the festival site had expanded to include prasadam booths, deity paraphernalia, displays, souvenirs, and Prabhupada's books. Thousands joined the more than 800 devotees in the procession through Golden Gate Park. Because the builders of the carts had decided to make steel wheels instead of the usual wooden ones, difficulty arose. Sri Prabhupada had warned them, "This is your American disease, always changing. Do not change the old design." But they had already done it, riding in Subhadra's cart, which had wooden wheels. Sri Prabhupada experienced no personal inconvenience. The other two carts, however, did not fare so well. They began to vibrate so severely that support beams had to be added to the spokes during the procession. Soon the wheels became mishappen, and they creaked and rattled as though about to collapse. But somehow, after much difficulty, all three carts completed the course. In the midst of the Rath Yatra activities, one of the devotees asked Sri Prabhupada if he had ever attended the Rath Yatra festival in Jagannath Puri. "No," Prabhupada replied, "I was having my own Rath Yatra."
Prabhupada as a small child, he used to have his own Rath Yatra. So he was not attending. San Francisco Rath Yatra used to be very famous. Golden Gate Park, Golden Gate Bridge is there. There's a big park. It's a landmark of San Francisco. They used to have huge Rath Yatra. Prabhupada was going by flight and his assistants did not have Bhagavad Gita. Now Gita Jayanti is coming. Remember, they don't travel without a Bhagavad Gita. The assistant had some other Bhagavad Gita. That is funny. Why he was having, I don't know actually. Sometimes you'll find you meet some good people. The flight attendant, he was curious, inquisitive to know what is this Swamiji. No, he wanted to ask some questions. He wanted to find out something. And you can see some drunkard coming. You'll meet all kinds of people. You have to know just how to respond to them.